The late afternoon sky above New York City glowed orange, fading into hues of pink and violet as the sun descended. In a downtown studio, Jay-Z and Puff Daddy were wrapping up an intense recording session for a charity album. The duo, clad in their signature designer threads, leaned back in their chairs, laughing about a time when they were hustling mixtapes on the street. Their moment of relaxation was interrupted when Jay-Z's phone buzzed. It was a news alert. Harlem orphanage on fire. Children trapped inside. Puff glanced over Jay's shoulder, reading the headline. Without a word, the two exchanged a knowing look. They were no strangers to tough situations, and this was too close to home to ignore. "Man, we gotta do something," Puff said, already grabbing his car keys. "You already know," Jay replied. They bolted out the studio, adrenaline pumping. The orphanage, located in the "Sure, Puff? We ain't exactly 20 anymore." Puff grinned. "Speak for yourself, old man." He pulled a bandana from his pocket, tied it over his nose, and started up the rickety fire escape. Jay followed close behind, the heat from the flames making his face sweat. Below, the crowd erupted in cheers and shouts of encouragement. "Let's go, Puff. Let's go, Puff." Inside the orphanage, the air was thick with smoke, and the heat was suffocating. The screams of frightened children echoed through the hallways. Jay and Puff kicked open a door, finding a group of 5 kids huddled together in the corner of a room, their faces streaked with soot and tears. "It's okay, we're gonna get you out," Jay said, crouching to their level. Puff pulled off his jacket, wrapping it around the youngest child, who couldn't have been older than 3. The duo guided the kids back to the window where the fire escape was. The structure groaned ominously under their weight as Jay led the kids down one by one. Puff stayed behind, gathering stragglers as the flames grew closer. Just as Jay reached the ground with the last child from the first group, a gut-wrenching sound tore through the air. The fire escape began to collapse, leaving Puff stranded on the upper floor with 2 kids still clinging to him. "Puff," Jay yelled, panic lacing his voice. "Don't worry about me. Just get them safe." Puff shouted back, coughing from the smoke. Thinking quickly, he kicked open another door, leading to a storage room. Inside, he found an old mattress. "All right, kids, you trust me?" Puff asked, his voice firm but kind. The children nodded, their wide eyes filled with fear. Puff grabbed the mattress and heaved it out the window. "You're gonna jump onto that, all right? I'll be right behind you." Jay scrambled to position the mattress properly as Puff helped the first child climb onto the ledge. 1, 2, 3 jump. Puff counted, and the child leaped, landing safely. The crowd roared. The second child hesitated, clutching Puff's arm. "I'm scared," she cried. "It's okay, little one. You're braver than you think," Puff reassured her. "I'll catch you if you fall. Trust me." She jumped, screaming all the way down, but landing unhurt. The crowd erupted again, but their cheers turned into gasps as the flames surged behind Puff, trapping him. Jay acted on instinct, grabbing a fire hose from the nearest firefighter and aiming it at the window. "Get out of there, man," Jay shouted as water blasted through the window. Puff covered his face with his arms, then made a running leap out of the building. He landed on the mattress, bouncing off and hitting the ground with a roll. Diddy in the house. He groaned, flashing a weary grin. The firefighters managed to contain the blaze shortly after. Jay and Puff sat on the curb, surrounded by grateful children and tearful orphanage staff. The news crews swarmed them, but Jay waved them off, focusing on the kids. "You're all safe now," he said softly, his voice full of relief. One of the older kids, a boy around 10 years old, looked up at them. "You guys are Jay-Z and Puff Daddy, right?" "It's us," Puff said, wiping soot from his face. "You saved us like superheroes," the boy exclaimed. Jay chuckled. "Nah, man, just two guys who care about their people." As the night wore on and the crowd dispersed, the orphanage director approached him. "You've done more than just save lives tonight," she said, her voice breaking. "You've given these kids hope." Jay and Puff exchanged a glance. Without a word, they each pulled out their phones, coordinating donations to rebuild the orphanage. They knew their mission wasn't over. Saving the kids was just the first step to ensure these children had a brighter future. As they left the scene, exhausted but fulfilled, Puff turned to Jay with a grin. "Next time we do a collab, can we just stick to the studio?" Kay laughed. "Where's the fun in that?"